Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and on this episode of Calling All Titans, I want to talk about the Emperor Penguin. Emperor Penguin is the 5th released native Titan, released with the Penguins faction available at the AEG store. The entry criteria for Emperor Penguin is to have 3 or more minions on a base at the start of your turn. If so, you can play Emperor Penguin there. Once in play, Emperor Penguin gives you the option to play a minion off the top of your deck at its base, instead of your regular minion play from hand. It also has the talent to reveal a minion of power 3 or less, from either your hand or your discard pile, and shuffle it into your deck. If you do, Emperor Penguin will get a power counter. As a native Titan, Emperor Penguin also has a means to be brought into play by the Penguin deck. They have 2 copies of A Wish for Wings that work, which can bring Emperor Penguin into play on any base. This is important because it's very easy to get 3 minions on the same base with Penguins. You can do it on a single turn. However, it's extremely difficult to keep Emperor Penguin on the base for long because you already have at least 6 power and your opponents likely jumped on to score VP as well. Emperor Penguin is interesting because its balance is directly tied into the balance of the overall faction. With Command Penguin, I talked about the power that comes with playing a minion off the top of your deck. This is especially potent for minion-starved factions. Emperor Penguin gives you the permanent ability to play from the deck, allowing you to hold on to your minions to ensure you always have a play when Emperor Penguin is not in play. It also allows you to be liberal with your minions in hand, knowing that future plays need not come from your hand. Because it replaces your regular minion play, it's important to declare what you are replacing. Normally, with a Titan like Dagon, the regular minion and the extra minion don't make all that much of a difference. But with Emperor Penguin it does, because your deck will likely change along with the Penguins, so to be sure to consider the order of your actions. It's important to keep your minions in hand because you'll need them. It's great to reveal a baby penguin from the deck because you can play another minion from your hand. But you only have 4 baby penguins, which is why the talent is so great. The Penguins want minions to be both in your hand and deck, preferably with an even spread. One of the itty critter problems is that, if you draw your better critter targets, you cannot play them from the deck. Emperor Penguin solves this problem by allowing you to restore some balance and even get power out of it. You can also get minions back from the discard pile, which is critical considering how quickly the Penguins burn through their minions. It's easy to play 3 or 4 in a turn, so being able to recur even just 1 minion helps. The power cap is necessary because recurring Command Penguin would be brutal, but it helps that the Penguins have 1 more minion who should be power 4 but is instead power 3, and 1 that benefits from being played from the top of the deck in Snazzy Penguin. Those extra cards go a long way towards sustaining the Penguin burst. What you'll find with Emperor Penguin, and the Penguins in general, is that as the game goes on, you will have few minions left in your deck. So being able to shuffle in a specific one is great, because the odds are good that you'll know what you are going to get. Emperor Penguin has good abilities, which are balanced by the difficulty in keeping it in play. The minion benefit is localized, as most Penguin abilities are. I would anticipate using good abilities a few times rather than many. You may not use the ongoing ability every turn, but you would use its talent, and in most cases, you get the Titan for free, so there really isn't a loss of value if you bring it out just to use the talent once. So how do we maximize this ability? Given how hard it is to bring Emperor Penguin into play, it's good to use in between Titans, the Titan trade. The itty critters are a natural fit because I already mentioned how Emperor Penguin solves their draw problem because you could shuffle it in from your hand. Rainbow Rock, without evolution, can only come into play after a base scores, so Emperor Penguin can help you win a base after Rainbow Rock comes out of play, allowing for Rainbow Rock to go back into play. Between their 2 talents, you can recur your best low-powered minions, sustaining the Penguins for the long term. The Emperor Penguin prevents you from knowing what you'll get, but the Spies and Grannies can change that. With a Granny out, you generally know whether it's better to play from your hand or your deck. The added Granny bonus is that, as your deck runs out of minions, your actions are more likely to be on top, allowing for more extra plays with Nana. It's great to play a baby penguin from the deck to play a Nana from your hand, knowing that the next card is likely in action. One of my favorite minions to recur is Bewitching Gal, because the Penguins have no problem piling up minions. This makes her talent quite powerful and can lead to a few uncontested bases. And because the Penguins have the ability to activate it twice, not even higher breakpoint bases are safe. I like recycling the Pyramid Engineers because they are so vital to the ancient Egyptian strategy and are also a great means to get faster uncovering. The Penguins can spam the mummies, but they take time to uncover. Again, a baby penguin off the top of the deck to play a Pyramid Engineer to uncover a mummy is a very potent regular minion play, and playing the Pyramid Engineer off the top is not the worst, especially since the mummies help increase the minion count as they uncover at the start of the turn, avoiding power creep. In fact, uncovering a Pyramid Engineer to uncover another mummy can greatly speed up bringing Emperor Penguin into play, while avoiding power creep in the meantime, since all this will occur at the start of the turn. It helps to think of Emperor Penguin as a form of card draw, because it is. You are thinning out your deck one card at a time. Combined with Pebble Gift, this can expedite your draw, especially if you have a means to move minions off. I like Steampunk Penguins because the Zeppelin makes it easy to pull minions off the base, which makes Emperor Penguin more global. And since the mechanic can play the extra action on any base, it's easy to turn a randomly powerful play into a golden opportunity, since you can play Agromotive on either base, then Zeppelin over, playing two powerful cards with a single play, and neither of them came from your hand. In the early commentary, a number of players suggested Kaiju to solve their minion starvation problem, but I don't recommend this. First, Gorgonzola is a great engine minion, one that I value over Emperor Penguin anyway. If Command Penguin is in play, you don't want to pull Tiny Priestesses and risk losing Gorgonzola. Kaijuki is a finisher, but if you have a ton of actions and minions on the base, I'm curious as to why it's still in play. And Johnny is such a great finisher that I wouldn't want to take a chance on having him randomly pulled out. So while this sounds good on paper, I don't actually recommend it. The last thing I want to talk about with Emperor Penguin is a question that's been on my mind for a while. Is Emperor Penguin the last Titan? It's a fair question because I think we are starting to see the pains of some of the event kit Titans. Native Titans are inherently different, as their Titan is part of their balance equation. But Titans are still problematic, and there aren't many cards that can actually deal with them, with Volcanic Uprising being the one card that might stand a shot recently, but it's so easily counterable. I have a love-hate relationship with Titans myself. I love some of their abilities, but hate that they prove problematic with certain combinations. I cannot remember if I made this point before, but when I was a newspaper editor, I was taught that when you have a bunch of copy corrections on a page, it's better to edit from the bottom up because your alignment is always intact. If you start adding or deleting lines from the top down, your reference point for everything is wrong, and what you think is on page 2 is now on page 3, and it becomes very easy to miss things because things aren't nearly what they were before. I think there's a lesson here in that, instead of making weaker factions stronger and opening up the possibilities of issues with new combinations based on existing factions, I would have considered making crazy factions weaker. In some respects, a wish for wings that work is an action that recurs a minion of power 3 or less, and grants one power that is very hard to remove from a base. And you can use Emperor Penguin simply for his talent while you focus on another base entirely. Especially in 2-player, I find this very effective, especially if I could force someone into drastically overpaying on Emperor Penguin's base. And the overall lack of counters to Titans makes me wonder if the game needs to make a decision, commit or abandon. So is Emperor Penguin the last Titan? The irony is, I specifically advocated for keeping their Titan because of the public reception to them, so my guess would be that it's probably not the last, but it wouldn't surprise me either way. What do you think of the Emperor Penguin? Let me know in the comments. That's it for all the current Titans, so it may be a while. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, let's shut it down.